Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magic moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. The moon is in Leo, right on my south node, 8 degrees right now. And the sun is in Cancer post Lilith. This post Lilith degree coming into 910 is going to make you aware of the potency of Lilith, who I think is very, I'm not going to say misunderstood, but is very much so seen as like a home wrecker or a hoe. Lilith can be a hoe if she wants to. Shout out to you, Lilith. But Lilith is more so gonna reflect not just a repressed aspect of the feminine or woman, but really more so, I would say, in the best way to make sense of it, non-traditional and taboo expressions of what women do. So I'm not going to say that's what Lilith totally represents, but if you were to take non-traditional and taboo and erotic expressions of women specifically, or the feminine, that would all fall within what Lilith represents and sponsors. So ironically, if we were in a time where it was the opposite, like maybe everyone was very promiscuous, you might see Lilith take a more like rebellious attitude in some cases, and be less promiscuous. But that was a horrible example. This is something that, with the sun of awareness next to, you'll be aware in everybody, but especially women. In fact, if you're a woman watching this, this is like a sexual rebirth and activation for you, because now Lilith opposite Pluto and square Jupiter is evolving and, or let's say awakening, probably through a lot of pain, and evolving how much deeper you tap into this, which makes sense. You have Roe v. Wade being overturned. So relative to the opposition, there is so much more of a depth and polarity, so much more of a depth of men ain't shitness and I fucking hate men. I want to make this clear. Lilith is not about hating men. In Cancer, you're seeing a lot of women reclaim their dark feminine power, breaking out, both women who agree with Roe v. Wade being overturned, which there are a lot, and women who don't agree with it. What they both have in common is that they are reclaiming the darker facets of their feminine power, or we could just say power, in that feeling more extremely about what they sincerely feel about things, without the approval of a man, without the approval of society, without the approval of that patriarchal opposite Capricorn system, which, regardless of what I believe about it, especially as a man, is actually very crucial, and super important. And with Jupiter here, you can't be afraid of taking it too far, because it's inevitable anyway. But this is cultural in the sense that you're gonna see its impact very soon. Once it's very much so less of a man versus woman thing, versus it being more about women activating a deeper level of this power. And this, it's like a snapping moment, because it's not, the Roe v. Wade decision was just the catalyst, which is what I was saying before. I hope you're not getting distracted by narratives, for people to kind of say things that don't apply to you, but because you fit in that box, that they can just kind of, not to say you don't have your own feelings about it, but I hope you don't get caught up outside of this decision. I'd say that with anything in the news. So, um, regardless of what you feel about that, and I'm just using that as an example, it's very paramount this happening. It's not going to be until like 3 or 6 months you really start to see the significance of this, and how this is really shifting now, how much further people go. The best way I can make sense of it, Pluto's very extreme. So like this has already been something that has been getting more and more extreme, but this is literally the tipping point. This is literally where everything spills over. If you ask me, if you want my personal opinion, I'm totally indifferent to this, because what's happening is something that's been happening to every social group, every culture, okay? And also, you know, in the entirety of the collective. But what I'm very interested about this is a major facet of stepping into this new paradigm, this new age. It has everything to do, I'm not going to say with divine feminine or masculine, with woman. If you think about this being a unique period of time where I'm not going to say women have more rights than they ever did, but mostly women are able to express themselves more than they could, especially since the 90s and early 2000s, which, whether that expression agrees or disagrees with most of what most people say, it's more important about the expression. And this is what we're going to see transform considerably. You want to liken this to an on and off, back and forth couple where the woman decides once and for all, like, we're good, like it's severing ties and cords, as she like forges the path down towards her own independence, which literally is a parallel to Lilith being kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Like, oh, okay, all right, you want, I can't ride on top of her. So, like, I mean, I'm not going to just sexualize it like that, even though I just sexualize it like that. And actually, I should sexualize it like that, because this is also now, in light of this, reclaiming sexual power. So I didn't expect to talk this long about this. I might have to do a separate video on this, because um, I don't want to take up the whole video for the transit, but because if you're a man, this is also going to express the relationship with how you deal with this in women through your own feminine, uh I'm not going to say side, but through the feminine aspects of yourself. Okay, it's all sorts of messy. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, you don't want to really avoid the challenge, whether you're a man or a woman, of this, but to dive deeper into that darkness, let it arise with the sun, and do what do what will be done, all right, relative to how you want to align with integrity with the Saturn king hunks. But the second house of manifestation with the moon in Leo is manifesting the activation of this new moon, which is entirely influenced and activated with Lilith. So this is adding a very raunchy, bold, strong essence to how you can charge this up. If you think about now the science of cardinal power in Cancer manifesting Leo, okay, the fixed sign, Cancer is a power, an emotional power, and you are now charging over the next 2 days the power you just activated. This is going to not only strengthen the activation of this new intention and power, as you feel stronger about it and more courageous, shift this deeper into your heart. But this is going to now prepare for the moon in Virgo, where we have our first real beautiful effect, and you start to be receptive to the actual causality between unsee, because Cancer is not really see, you can't see feelings, but between what your feelings do and what actually happened. And so I want you to think of this fan. This fan is blowing air due to a fixed mechanism. There's power that is powering this fan, and the fixed mechanism is, of course, the fan turning in a direction powered, all right, by electricity sourced from Leo. but the effect is mutable. That's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. And that effect can only happen once the power is charged enough to produce that effect. So we are charging up for this real effect. We're going to charge up again Scorpio for the ascendant effect, Sag, but that's all based on this. And this is where you're having considerable breakthrough. You're going to, when I say you're going to see effects of supernatural powers you're activating, Moon in Virgo in a couple of days is when you're not going to be a believer or not. You're realistically going to wrap your mind around how, Virgo, you are doing Cancer psychic slash supernatural slash metahuman abilities and things, because you're literally seeing it happen in your real life. It's not going to be until the moon is in Pisces that you see the unseen and understand what you're mastering there. And that is insane, really. This is a step forward in consciousness, which you say about every day. But once again, the moon in Leo is going to charge up your body's ability to harness this greater energy. So that's the best way I can say it. That means you're receptive to how confident you are expressing your feelings. Any blockages you feel, don't force yourself to express it. Just be willing to be aware of it and acknowledge it. All right. Or you can force the shit out of it. Do whatever you want. But this will really, with this opposition series, test how courageous you are, feeling into the sincerity of what you feel in the face of opposition that seeks to belittle you. Especially given the weakness of most of these narratives, shame and guilt matrix manipulation is the only way to stifle and suppress such courageous acts of self-expression. And with the square to Uranus and Taurus, I was going to ask, what is this channeling coming from, Uranus? With the square to Uranus and Taurus, as you charge this energy, you are simultaneously harnessing and manifesting this charge from the heart to your body. You're literally feeling your body get stronger the more you fuel your heart with stepping into the feeling of what you are. Quick ritual update. Step 1, who are you? What do you think you are? Step 2, what does that feel like? Okay, and feel that intent as if it's already manifested. And this is where, as you feel that, you're going to strengthen it now by creatively expressing it. I feel great. And then Moon in Leo is, I feel great, you hear me? Yeah. I know I'm uber talented. Do you feel, I know you felt the difference. You literally felt that charge of energy. You don't have to be a retarded klutz bag like me, although extra points if you are, or do. But this, as you are guided through the day, will literally not only charge your energy, but will literally prepare you to do an attack. It's literally like simple anime or like movie or game show stuff. Before Goku fires a Kamehameha, or anyone, or Vegeta a Gallic gun, they have to charge their energy first so that they can sustain the power through their energy. So you're going, the challenge with that square is, how do you integrate or convert the energy you're generating from the heart and manifest it in your body, which will require certain balance. And psychologically, it will require you not care what other people think, to the detriment of you losing your eccentricity. Otherwise, you basically nerf the uniqueness and basis of this power you're activating. And higher forces and dark forces know this too, so they're going to exploit that by attempting to guilt and shame you. Okay? And only you can let that happen. Don't fall for the okie doke. You're going to get considerable insight on the understanding and knowledge of what powers you're manifesting and have manifested. Godspeed.